Rogue Esports, trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll. They're gonna deflect. White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
A beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh. Santi's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga4 is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Leaky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the 8? They get the 8.
Welcome in, CGL fans, to a Sunday night showdown between the Emerald Eagles and the EIG Assassins in the NA Diamond tier. For the winner, a match against BGSU Falcons and a chance to continue on. For the loser, the season's over, no more second chances. It's win or go home as these teams square up in the first round of the lower bracket. To journey with you through the series tonight, it's HD Philly B and the man with the satin voice, Shadow Fang. My guy, how you doing?
I'm doing really good tonight, man. I'm looking forward to seeing some Diamond Tier gameplay once again, because I did get to cast a Diamond Tier game yesterday too.
I know your voice is ready, your energy is ready. Like this is it's going to be continuing of that momentum. And last time you and I were in the booth, that match went all the way to 5. And the last time these two teams clashed, it went all the way to 5. So I have a feeling we might get another long series on our hands.
There's certainly a strong possibility of that, but a series that didn't go 5 was our earlier series that happened in EU, and let's just get a quick look at that right there. You can see Skyflock and EMC beating EMC Chimera in a 3-0 fashion. Right there in the middle, that's our game, Emerald Eagles and EIG Assassins. And then in 1 more hour, you're going to have Team Prosperous and Monolith going to be shown on the stream as well. So a lot of CGL action today.
Hey, I've got my snacks ready, buddy, and I know you CGL fans have them too. Let's take a look at the bracket here in the NA Diamond tier to see how the journey has parsed out so far. I think the biggest standout we were talking about in the green room, Shadow, has been the Zebras, and they find themselves in winners round 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's the prod team, so, you know, we always have to give them a little shout.
True.
But, so it's like a double win for prod, because Ray's on Drop the Guns, the head of the stream team, so it's like we got somebody from prod will be in the finals of Diamond Tier, if nothing else. And then you can see our match down there in that bottom left-hand corner, Emerald Eagles and EIG, and as you mentioned, winner will go on to play BGSU.
Yeah, I'm looking at Cuddle Puddle, one of my favorite teams. I love to see that squad go forward, so hopefully they do well against the Virtus Pronouns and move on to losers round 3. So a lot of action as we are in these playoff seasons. I mean, we've got at least 2 more weeks or so of CGL playoff action across all of our tiers, all of our regions, Shadow. So this is one you want to make sure you like, follow, subscribe, do whatever you need to do so you don't miss any of it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's coming down to the wire, though. We're starting to get to these winners finals, getting these losers brackets finished out as well. Like you said, we'll probably be done by about 2nd week of May, I'd have to imagine, about 2 weeks from now. It's gonna be a jam-packed last 2 weeks, though.
And I am hype for it. Well, we are going to head to the maps very shortly, which will be Control. We have our map list, Shadow. Is there any prediction that you have that in terms of the selection from these teams?
I mean, honestly, I would have predicted Lijiang Tower because
You always do.
everybody just always picks that. Like it's a very rare occasion that doesn't happen. Although I did see Nepal get picked first yesterday, so I don't know. There has been a little bit of variance in these playoffs, but a lot of times the standard is just Lijiang.
For sure. And it's just been in the game for the longest. People understand how to work it. Fits a lot of different compositions. Well, Hippie, our producer today, let's pull up the map selection and see what we got. Oh my gosh, to the islands we go, Shadow. I was not expecting this.
No, we're going to Samoa this time, which is a different pick for sure. I believe EIG would have had the map pick since they're the higher seed.
Correct.
So EIG decided to take us to Samoa, and I'm just curious if they have some sort of composition they have in mind as to why they would take us here over something like a Lijiang.
It is interesting, and what we've got a little information from a little birdie saying that the Assassins are a very tempo-based team. If they are not playing on their cadence, they kind of falter or stagger a little bit, and maybe the Emerald Eagles know something that they can kind of turn the tides on this map. But first, we got to get into the bans, and I know my guy with the crystal ball has some great predictions. Hippie, let's pull up the board and see who gets removed from this one. I mean, Shadow, we've talked over the weeks about Zarya, Vendetta now. She got nerfed, then she got buffed again. I mean, what are you thinking from these teams?
So this is an interesting one. I have seen such little Zarya and Diva, and those heroes didn't really get changed that much. It's a really odd occurrence where, like, the patch didn't hit the heroes that were strong, but people just stopped playing them anyways. It's like everybody just agreed to stop doing it or something. So we've been seeing a lot more Ramatra since the patch came through, and I would have never in a million years ever guessed that Venture was about to be the ban right there.
I mean, Mad Bucks on the Assassins is a Venture, Vendetta, Dive, DPS player, but okay, I feel like that's counterable. There's a lot of different things you can do, but maybe that's part of this tempo strategy, right? Throw the Assassins off their assassination game and see what we can do, especially on a control map, which can be really brawly and team deathmatchy, that sort of thing. So the Venture, one of my favorite DPS characters, they are taken off the board. Now we go to the Assassin's turn to pick. I feel like this has got to go towards the tanks.
You would think so, because getting rid of the tank removes a lot more. It gets rid of basically the entire composition almost, whereas with the support line, a lot of teams just like to mirror the support line regardless of what tank they're trying to play. So I'm of the belief that we see like a Diva, a Ram, maybe Emerald Eagles likes to play that Mauga. Like there's a few options here, but I'm gonna say I think Diva is probably the most likely ban, just because it can force like both teams to play that same brawlish style.
For sure, and I'm looking through our team sheets for the Emerald Eagle, and it's Mist, who plays the tank more often than not. She's very good at the Orisa, and so if the Assassins have done their research, they might just take that off the board just as a insurance for maybe this first round, do some scouting, but it will be the Ramatra. We've seen the leader of Null Sector be the damage dealer, the frontline threat through a lot of these playoffs thus far, so it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. It's kind of like, it's giving me the idea that the opposite is actually true of what I was just saying, right? Like, they're, instead of banning the Diva to try and play the Brawl, they're banning the Ramatra to potentially try and play the Dive with said Diva. So that's my instant thought when I see a ban like that come through. Or maybe they just want to both play Orisa, like you were just saying a second ago.
Hey, especially on a control map, I like Orisa, very sturdy, durable, hard to take down, that sort of thing. Well, let's pull up the rosters and see what we got. The Emerald Eagles will be soaring onto your screens first. We'll take a look at the different members of their lineup. We have the Eclipse. They're posturing on Torbjorn. We've got Fluky. We've got Masagaki. We've got Deleuze. And we've got Praise for the starting lineup for the Emerald Eagles.
Yeah, again, a really strong team throughout the course of this season. They took EIG to 5 games last time, EIG being the 3rd seed in this tier, a really strong team in their own right. So again, I expect to see a really competitive series here tonight, but let's see that lineup for EIG as well. So here they come. We got Mad Bucks and Haywire on that DPS line, Muchetti, You have to say it like that too. You almost have to say muchete. Almost.
Muchete.
You gotta say it with that little hint of like Spanish to it, somewhat. Star Wolf and then Spiky Cloud gonna be on that support line. So again, the 3rd seed in the Diamond Division the entire season. Really strong team. So I would expect they're gonna come out guns blazing because they do not want to be taken out this early.
Absolutely not, especially with being that 3rd seed, and we were talking to a couple of our members in the green room. Like, this is a team not to be trifled with. They just happened to lose a 5-game series in the winners bracket and just fell a map short. Now they find themselves in the lower, and sometimes that can be the motivation or the boost that you need to really propel yourself forward all the way to the grand finals. And there's only one way to start it out, Shadow, as we head to Samoa.
Yeah, this is certainly a way to start it out. Heading out to this map, and let's see which sub point we're getting here. I don't know the names of the Samoa sub points. I'm a bad caster, but I do recognize this one when I'm looking at it right now. I swear I know this one. This is the one that has like the high grounds on it. But looks like we actually are going to be seeing the Zarya style composition from EIG, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Seeing that comp from Emerald Eagles, I don't know if I really want to deal with a Zarya. I don't know if I really want to be dealing with a Mauga composition with the Zarya.
Yeah, definitely not. You can burn those bubbles pretty quick. And something that we're piloting here today, folks, is the player cam. So we might, as we are switching, a few of our players volunteered to show their player cameras throughout the match. So we have our Eclipse on the Sombra. You'll see him throughout this contest. And as we head to the downtown control point for Samoa, there's some poke happening between the squads trying to wiggle their way onto the point. But I think that the Mauga has that poke locked down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You cannot run into the Mauga's face directly. We see the hack coming out from Eclipse as well, forcing that Suzu already.
There is the overdrive from the Mauga, forced to be expelled. They're diving right onto this Zarya. They cannot take it down, but it doesn't matter. The DPS duo smushed into the dirt, and the Reaper has free range to find the DJ. A few Hellfire shotguns will put him in the dirt, and the rest of the members go following after a clean fight win for the Emerald Eagles.
Yeah, that was a great fight from Emerald Eagles, and it's kind of just like I was saying, right? You can't face fight a Mauga with a Zarya, and that is exactly what EIG just kind of attempted to do. But there's also the situation where, because you're dealing with a Reaper and a Sombra, who is this Vendetta realistically going to kill before the entire team turns on them? And you're just stuck in a situation where it is not looking good for your composition up against that composition specifically.
Shadow, we talked about how the Assassins need to play at their own pace and their own tempo, and it feels like they have to make a switch to get the pedal on their side, as Haywire has been snipped and a pause has been called.
Yeah, I just gotta be honest with you. I think this is gonna go very poorly for EIG on this first point. I do not expect. Man, it's gonna take like some crazy hero plays from somebody to really make up this composition, because Emerald Eagle's composition is so much easier to get like a baseline level value out of. And it's kind of like this, right? Like, maybe the ceiling for EIG's comp is like up here, but the floor for Emerald Eagle's comp is like here. So it's like really, you have to perform at like such a high level to outdo what they can just do by pressing 2 buttons. And it's a really, I love playing the Mauga composition. I'm a diamond level player, so I can talk about myself like this. I like it because I like pressing 2 buttons and that's it. You know, I like slamming in, shouting really loudly, and everything in front of me just melts. So that seems to be what Emerald Eagles wants to do with this comp, and I think it's going to be very effective for them.
Ease of execution, comfortability, especially in a lower bracket round where your life is on the line and it's the first map. Get some semblance of control and some calm in your body, and so playing something you're comfortable with will do just that. And I hope to see some adjustments on the Assassins, Shadow, because they have some time. But we're back into the match now, the battle raging forward. The Sombra has been revealed but not detected in the fullest. A bubble expended onto the side of the Vendetta to keep them alive, and they take down the Samoan warrior on his own map. That's the go button for the team in red. They're hacking, slashing their way to the point.
prime example of exactly what I was just talking about right there, right? Because the side of Emerald Eagles pushed up a little bit too far with their Mauga, right? Masagaki pushed up a little too far, got out of the line of sight of Praise Dazai. As soon as that happened, it became a moment where Masagaki was vulnerable. And those are those moments you have to take advantage of if you're EIG, and they did a great job of it right there. But I mean, coming in right now, that EMP I think is going to be tough to deal with, but there is a Sundering Blade available for EIG.
They can't get caught in the hack. That would be disastrous for the Italian. But bullying their way onto the point is the team in blue, and will be the EMP to blast onto 5, and oh my goodness, toppled over immediately. A desperate sound barrier popped onto the battlefield, but it's gonna cost them everything and their lives. The point will go the way of the Emerald Eagle. They have to expend their own sound barrier in rebuttal. That's the only silver lining for the team in red.
I will say, if you're EIG, you're incredibly happy that that sound barrier got burnt, because now you're able to, you have all your ultimates now, right? You can do the grab and the Sundering Blade, and there is no sound barrier. You just kind of have to hope that Praise Dazai lands a perfect Suzu, which we have seen happen a few times. But, you know, it's again one of those more difficult things. But Kitsune Rush is already coming out.
A clear win condition for the Assassins. Can they backstab their way to victory? A critical hit, but the rebuttal, it's a triple kill for Fluky. There's no fluke about it. The Reaper with 3.
I mean, I gotta be real with you right now. That's one of those you're not trapped in here. Wait a minute. What's the?
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me, kind of deal.
It's that one, yes, because Fluky got caught in the grab and popped the Death Blossom and caught everybody with it.
Uh-oh, it's final fight territory. The Sundering Blade chops through the DJ. Sent back to the Brazil is Lucio, and now the Vendetta Foley on a tear max stacks for La Lupa. She is hungry, chained into the Coliseum, but that's exactly where she wants to be, as the overtime wick is burning down, but burnt to a crisp is the team in blue. It will be a flip for the Assassins.
That was almost a C9, Philly. They all walked dead off the point, and I really thought it was about to happen. It didn't, thankfully. But one thing there from Emerald Eagles is they just really needed to not burn that cage fight. Yeah. Masagaki burning that cage fight could come back to bite them. They have, like, maybe 2 more fights. They need to engage very quickly here and try and get this overclock out as soon as they can.
Uh-oh, well, they're going for the engage first. Leveraged is the overclock, and once again, the Lucio taken out first. There will be no sound barrier, no music for the Eagles. They have to retreat. They have one more fight to try to get this back in their favor, Shadow.
Yeah, this is going to be an important, super important fight here. Eclipse, if Eclipse can build up to this EMP, that's going to be the key, but you're going to have a pretty prolonged fight for that to happen. The pin is already coming in for Masagaki, and there's one already down.
Hey, who needs the MP if you could just get a straight up pick? Eclipse bringing the Knight down onto the battlefield, and Fluky following up, but following themselves into the grave. It's Muschetti who is clapping through the battlefield. They are charged up and ready to go. The EMP has to be tossed out, and it is good. We'll get onto the Zarya and take her down. The DJ can't put out any beats of healing. He's got to go down. It is what? An Aram just to get back to the point, blazing onto the Samoan, but he wants to be on fire. He loves the heat of the volcano. The cardiac overdrive to keep him alive, but only just a few more shots will put him 6 feet under. How is this guy staying alive? Okay, finally, he is taken down. This fight is raging forward, but it will go the way of Emerald Eagles. The overtime in their favor.
Oh my goodness, no touch even able to come through from Muschetti. It does eventually go their way, and it really all started with that early kill, right? Getting Haywire out of that fight and just allowing essentially your Mauga to just exist on the point in perpetuity. That was really the big key to that last fight. I thought it was going to end up being that they needed the EMP, but no, it was just that really early kill. That's what really turned it for them.
I want to see better discipline from these ultimates moving forward from all these players. I know there's some jitters in the finger, Shadow, because it is an elimination battle, but you have to be disciplined because these ultimates are just that impactful to help you win these fights cleanly. I've got to thank Soav, our observer for the series today, and Hippie, our producer, clicking the 1s and 2s, making sure we get all the camera feeds, all the stats online. But here we go to the volcano.
It's interesting that we're staying on the Onron here. We're on like a double flanker backline, no real hit scan to speak of, and I don't know. I'm going to be curious to see how this plays because I've just barely ever seen Onron.
Yeah, definitely not the one that is in the top levels of play, but finding some purchase here, just burning through the Samoan once again, but also engulfed in flames is the Zarya trying to hack away that pesky fly known as Sombra. Will do just that, and it will be Haywire who gets the wires and finds themselves a 2K.
Yeah, they're doing a great job on this on-run right now. Just getting a lot of fan, I don't even know what that ability's called, but the fan. I know it's your alt fire. Like I just don't remember.
It's like critical hit damage. You're good.
Yeah, you get your free crits off of people being on fire. Yeah, fan the flame, as I've just been informed. That is an ability name right there.
Very creative, yes.
yeah, absolutely. I really should have known that, honestly.
Well, only knowing the gray screen is Mad Bucks, who's taken out of the fight once again. The Lucio being lethal, but being laser beamed down. Machete cutting through the field once more. Both Lucios removed from this engagement, but the kill feed littered in red. It's now being traded back and forth. This Sombra has to deadlift the team. Only the DPS here to survive, but all the while the point ticking in the favor of the Assassins. They don't care how long the fight goes as long as the point stays with them.
Oh yeah, they're more than happy for this to keep going exactly as it has been. And this Onron has just been doing so much damage for EIG. They're not really allowing anybody to get set up for the side of Emerald Eagles. And this Lucio of Dulce is just getting caught over and over again by this Onron. It has been a rough round.
Yeah, maybe a touch aggressive. The Beyblade let rip and claims too. That's exactly what you need for your Reaper of Souls. And oh my god, a Quadra for the DPS.
Yeah, you know, I love the Reaper with the Malga, just having that cardiac overdrive on and getting so much of that additional additional lifesteal on top of the fact that Reaper is Reaper. It is just so huge. And right now, Eclipse just setting up, looking to get this EMP off with their team.
Uh-oh, but the first move will go the way of the Russian, and blasted with the Graviton Surge, rather, will lock the Malga down, and everybody 6 feet down. That's a clean win for the team in red.
Yeah, great fight win from the side of EIG, just using their ults first and going first, right? Emerald Eagles needs to get a little bit more aggressive with their composition because that's kind of how you have to play the Malga, right? You kind of just pin in, everybody follow the big Malga guy pinning in, right? That's what you're looking for. Now your go signal is going to be this EMP, so I imagine it's going to go off here shortly.
And here it is, tagged onto 3, but this not the Lucio, so the Sound Barrier in immediate response, and it's the Luch who's taken off again. The Sundering Blade, just a cherry on top. Once again, hacking through the battlefield. The Reaper not long for this world, and he is chopped to oblivion. The Volcano will go the way of the Assassins. There is nobody left to defend the point.
Yeah, and that's more what we were thinking we were going to see from EIG, right? That's the third seeded team right there. Who knew? It was just we needed to swap off Sojourn and play on-run. Like that one change seemed to be making all the difference in the world that round, because Haywire was just doing the absolute most on this character, just getting a limb after a limb after a limb.
I would have loved to seen right here, and thank you, Hippie, for this replay, if the Graviton Surge with the Vermilion Ascent, just a dive bomb on there, explode everybody. That would have been a replay of epic proportions. But maybe we'll see that combination later throughout this series. But I have to highlight Duluth on the Emerald Eagles. They're playing very far forward, Shadow. They have to place more defensively to keep themselves alive. They need this Lucio.
Yeah, the Lucio is very, very necessary. Just having the sound barriers to match the other sound barrier is so key, and it can really win you a lot of fights, just simply having the ability to match that. And, you know, especially with the way Emerald Eagles comp plays, it's like it's a really, we want to try and stay alive, but also run them over comp, and you can't do that if your Kiriko's dead.
What? A missile from range will secure the Kiriko's life, and the Fox Spirit will go back to the graveyard. And now this Vendetta just free range to hack their way onto the tank. They want those wolf stacks as much as they can get, but Fluky has something to say about it. They take down 2, but can they take down La Lupa? Yes, it's a double for him, but oh no, Starwolf says see you later.
Yeah, you know, sometimes your Kiriko's just got to get their hands dirty a little bit, throw them kunai. Praised Azai was trying to get their one back, but Masagaki said, hold on, I got this big chain gun also, so let me finish this one off. And, man, I thought they were falling off the map for a second. That's sand. That was kind of crazy. No ultimates really coming up just yet. That Sundering Blade going to be the closest one for Mad Bucks, though.
And that is insane to get about 90% before the next fight goes off. But it's Haywire who opens the kill feed again, this time onto the Mauga of all things. They just bomb rushed the Samoan on his own home map, his own turf. Machete doesn't care. This is his turf now, or her turf now.
Yeah, it's honestly feeling like Emerald Eagles just aren't playing as a unit anymore. Like, I would like to see Masagaki and Fluky be, like, connected and joined at the hip, essentially, right? Like, this Reaper and this Mauga, you need to be shooting the same person, whoever it happens to be, because if you're not, your comp's not going to work.
Absolutely not, and they've found maybe the key to success here. There's the Sundering Blade. It's almost like a plasma blade cutting through the battlefield once again. Stomped into the dirt is Mad Bucks and stomped into the grave by the Death Blossom. It's a triple for the Reaper. This guy is deadlifting the Eagles and putting them to new heights.
Oh, Fluky with 2 kills with the dire triggers. That's the entirety of the enemy team, and that's the power of just playing within range of your Mauga, right? Having that cardiac overdrive helping you out. Having your Mauga shooting the same person that you're shooting, right? Just that simple little adjustment is when Fluky has been having these insane fights instead of trying to go for like these flank kills. But now, so many ultimates online for both teams. I do not know how this is about to go, but it looks like we've lost Dulce.
No! The EMP on to 3, and Starwolf is a desperate act, gets off the Kitsune Rush. Locked into a desperate cage fight is the team in red, but they're okay with it. Still hanging on to the point, though, is the Emerald Eagles, but how long can they do it? A few more members remain. The Ascent, the crash down, and a Suzu of incredible timing to keep the Kiriko in it. The Reaper says, let me take the front line for you, but the Blazing Dash will burn him to a crisp. Going to the health back for now is the Onron as the battle is still continuing. Shadow.
Oh my gosh, this is such a crazy back and forth right now. The good thing, though, is that Emerald Eagles has maintained point control this entire time. So even if you lose this fight as Emerald Eagles, it does not really matter because you're going to flip if you're EIG at this, what are we at, 41% right now? But this fight is still going. Haywire still trying to not die, and that is... Oh my goodness, there's still people coming. Fluky got another Death Blossom, and a grab has gone off as well, and a sound barrier went off too. What's happening right now, Philly?
The sound barrier just delayed by an instant to keep the Reaper in it, but now there's 2v1, and the Zarya, as mighty as she is, cannot stand against the chain guns, but it is the Vendetta, the final member of the Red Squad, to hold on to the point. Now it's just cannon fodder. They're doing everything they can to survive, but who can take down this Mauga? The answer is no one. The Lucio will be sent to the grave, and that will be the map win for the Emerald Eagles.
You know, you could have given me like several guesses, and I don't think I ever would have guessed that Emerald Eagles would take that fight that we were watching like a minute and a half ago. You could have given me several guesses. You know, I always say this is my go-to like standard joke. You know, Doctor Strange saw all them realities, right? And this wasn't one of them. This was not one of them. This was not one of those realities where Emerald Eagles won that single fight that we just witnessed. I can't believe how many ults I just saw go off in that fight. That was absolutely insane.
Wild stuff from both of these teams who are fighting for their very lives in the NA Diamond tier. Fluke, that has to be the Fluky, the standout player, Shadow. I mean, this play right here, denying the Graviton, the play at the end denying the other Graviton. I mean, this guy is unstoppable. Reaper has to be banned in this next round. They can't let this guy through again.
Oh, they definitely can't. You have a few options, though, where this composition, at the very least, can probably not be played. Yeah. Just simply because of the fact that you're not going to play Mauga on, like, Dorado, surely. Right?
Let's hope.
Oh, my goodness. But, yes, the crazy back-and-forth affair. And I do think that at the end of the day, it ended up being just the ease at which Emerald Eagles comp can be played is what really helped them out consistently. Because yes, I said it earlier, like EIG's comp has a much higher skill ceiling, but the skill floor of Emerald Eagles comp is just so much higher. I mean, look right there. I can't believe that sequence happened. The solo grab onto the Death Blossom followed by the sound barrier that was just a hair too late to save, said Reaper. And it still ended up going our way anyways because we had Masagaki on the point playing this Mauga.
Wild stuff indeed. Well, let's take a look at the scoreboard between these squads. Biggest highlight to me is 13 deaths on Deleuze on the Lucio. Maybe getting camera shy there, just falling short. They have to play back just a touch because they are the primary target time and time again. But just the amount of damage coming out from this Onron, incredible with 27 kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Haywire doing a fantastic job. I mean, this was an incredibly close map, and you can tell it just by looking at this stat screen. This looks like it was a close game. Because even Eclipse on that Sombra doing 9,000 damage, that's a lot of damage on Sombra. Because normally you're not really doing a whole ton of damage like that. You're just like throwing Virus, shooting Lil Uzi a little bit, popping the EMP, but not like a super high damage character per se. So yeah, really impressive map.
Utilizing the utility of that character is what they're looking for. So fantastic work for the Emerald Eagles. As we mentioned at the top of the program, Shadow, last time these teams fought, went all 5. So maybe now the Assassins will have their chance to pick. They get something where they have the tempo, they have the momentum, and then they can bring us even in the series. If you are the Assassins, my friend, what map would you go to?
Well, I mean, I said Dorado a second ago because you're not playing Mauga on Dorado, surely. You can do it, I suppose. I suppose anything. You can do whatever you want. That's one of my other sayings I have all the time. You can do whatever you want, but is it what you should be doing? Probably not. But another option is like a Hollywood. I think would be good. Midtown, Nimbani. But yeah, that's what I would say. You really want to go to a map where you can't play the Mauga so that you can save the Mauga ban for later. We had a coach on that interviewed with us yesterday, and they had a really solid philosophy where it was like, we want to save the most impactful ban for the highest pressure moment. So I thought that was a really smart thing because we didn't understand why they saved this crazy ban for map 5 instead of using it in map 4. Yeah. But they were like, no, we'll just save it for map 5, and then map 5 was an absolute steamroll for their team in their favor.
Yeah, that's a little touch of the mental game, right? It's like, all right, we got it, and then we go to map 5. You can't play the character you were expecting. That will definitely rattle you for sure. Very interesting stuff, and I want it to be a map like Hybrid or Escort, because I feel like if you go back to Flashpoint or Push, Mauga can be really good on those maps, and so with the Emerald Eagles and the momentum that they have right now, you have to stop that in its tracks. I believe we have our map pick available, Shadow, so let's bring it up and see where we're headed to next. I believe we're going to New York City, the place that never sleeps. It's Midtown.
Yeah, we're going to Midtown. This is one of the maps I was listing off in that I think you can force Mauga wherever you want to, obviously, but I think this is a map where you do not want to play Mauga. There's just too much space for Mauga to cover. You're going to take too much poke damage before you can actually make it to the area you want Mauga to fight in, or you'll have to pin in, and you're so far away from your team by the time you pin in that it's just not, you're not really going to be effective. So I think this is a really smart pick from EIG.
Do you think this is more of a Ramatra map then, considering he was banned in that previous game and maybe could be banned again, right? Each team can ban one character once, so that's a possibility, but I feel like we'll see the leader of Null Sector in this one.
It's a very strong possibility. We see that a lot of teams like to opt for Sigma as well. The long sight lines on this map play very well for Sigma, but with that being said, we didn't see like anybody play hit scan on last map, so it's kind of a situation where it's like, well, do these teams want to even play the hit scan role, right? Or do they want to opt for this more flex DPS playstyle that we saw? Haywire was doing pretty well on that Sojourn, but the Onron was really where it turned in their team's favor. So I don't know. I do think we end up seeing a little bit of Ramatra just because it's easy to play, or just because it's good to play on this map. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. The band's really going to tell me a lot.
Well, speaking of the bands, I believe we have them locked in for both of our teams. So let's head over to the scoreboard to see what members or what agents will be taken out of this one. The on-rod, I don't know if I really like her on Midtown. I feel like kind of the flanking angles are very scripted. You can kind of figure out where she's coming from. She doesn't really want to go down mid. She wants to be on these off angles, pestering you, making you turn, things of that nature. So the Emerald Eagles will have the first ban in this one. But maybe they didn't like the on-rod. Maybe they do go for that instead.
It is certainly an option. If you're Emerald Eagles, I think... Oh, okay, Emre. I was going to say Vendetta just to get rid of it, but Emre is a really good pick too, because especially on this map, you get caught into those little corridors. Those Emre grenades can just instantly take out a bunch of people.
And I know how you feel about those Emery grenades. You're saying, like, when you're playing Tracer, it's just sneaky damage that you're not expecting. You launch in two, it can blow somebody up real quick. We saw that last time you and I casted together. So I actually like this pick. On point 2, you can get on that bridge, just really fire down range. There's a lot of good sight lines for this character. His ultimate is still incredibly useful, all things considered. So the Assassins, it is their turn to ban. They can't ban the Ramatra. They could go for the tank line again, but I don't know. My crystal ball's telling me the support is the one in the crosshairs. Wow! Woohoo!
There you go. The Zenyatta ban coming through. I do believe Emerald Eagles has a really strong Zenyatta player in, I think it was Praise Dazai is a really strong Zen player. So good to just take that off the board, especially on a map like Midtown, where I was saying like a lot of teams do like to opt towards that Sigma double flex backline.
And saying, yeah, when I heard that, when we were talking about these teams as we were prepping for the match, I was like, I cannot wait for Praise to play this Zenyatta, because that is my favorite character, and I love to see some of these upper tier players pilot the Monk. But we won't see it in this one, so that's a touch unfortunate. I believe we have our rosters coming up next to see if there's any substitutions between these squads. I don't think we'll see any subs, Shadow. It seems like these are going to be the players that are looking for this one, but I don't know. Do you think there'll be any adjustments that need to be made?
I mean, there's potential, because like I said, with it being a double flex map, if you have another support player, you can swap out your Lucio player potentially, because it's a very different mindset to play Lucio than it is to play like Baptiste, Iari, something like that. Some people are good at doing both, but a lot of times these teams will have sub players specifically for instances like this exactly, where they just swap them in for Midtown or Circuit Royale, and that's like about it.
I mean, Shadow, when we casted last weekend, we saw Daddy OKC just sub in for the push map on the Wrecking Ball. That was their staple map, staple character. They steamrolled quite literally through everybody, won that map for their team, and then subbed right back out. So yeah, if you have that X Factor pick, especially now in the playoffs, in the losers rounds, this is where you have to bring them out. We're waiting for still some of the subs to come through. As we're working through that, do you think you'll see more of this? Well, with the Ramatra, how do you pair that in terms of the DPS line? Will we see maybe a soldier come through, something with range? Or you think we'll see that Reaper again? What are you feeling?
I tend to believe that we'll see something along the lines of like a Sojourn and a Tracer. That seems to be a really common like DPS line that we see in those regards. And we do have a couple of substitutions. We have some role swaps, honestly. So Masagaki swapping off of the tank, going over to that DPS line, and Eclipse going from the DPS line over to that support line. And you got Mist coming in on that tank line. And yeah, Dulce was playing that Lucio, so now it looks like they're potentially going for like that Baptiste Zenyatta look. So I imagine that Eclipse is probably going to be playing like the BAP, and maybe Praise Dazai might be going to the ERE or something now instead, since the Zenyatta's been banned.
Makes a lot of sense to me, and that's exactly what we were discussing, right? If you have certain compositions that you've been scrimming on, practicing on, it's good to flex your members around, keep the other team guessing, and the Emerald Eagles are going to do just that. I'm hyped to see what Mist brings. She is the tank player for this squad. Loves Orisa, as you see from the portrait. I don't think she'll be running an Orisa on this one. I think we might have some Sigma play coming at us.
Yeah, it's gonna be some real Sigma energy coming out right now, right? Everybody on the Sigma grind set right now. That's the idea here, right? And one team, Emerald Eagles, opting for a Kiriko Eniari, right? So interesting. I I like it. I'm surprised no Baptiste, honestly, but Kiriko can spread out the healing a little bit easier to all these players that are in different locations. But EIG going with a very interesting composition here with this Venture, and I'm curious if this Symmetra is going to stay or not.
I mean, this yeah, I was going to say, this is not a teleport out the gate. There's no reason for that, right? You have to get to the choke point. But Mad Bucks, they had their Venture taken off last game through the bans. Now they get to play the Adventurer this time. They go around the side of the point, and now they're bunkering in here with the turrets as well. The Venture going for to maybe secure a kill, but people extremely low, and Mad Bucks does just that. But the Lucios are first to fall. They are the targets who are prioritizing each and every fight, but who else but Fluky is reigning supreme in the streets of New York City. But this Symmetra is so dominant on the point, just lasering. The bees are buzzing, and the team in red, they cap.
Oh, they absolutely do. Mad Bucks showing exactly why that Venture got banned on map 1, right?
Yeah.
Getting that opening kill immediately onto Masagaki. Emerald Eagles was thinking about doing wholesale changes on their composition, but they have just opted for Fluky to swap over that cast, try and do a little bit of damage with the stun grenade, you know, stop that push from happening a little bit. I don't know. I might be of the belief, Philly, that Ramatra comp with like a Mei might work incredibly well against what I'm seeing right now.
That was going to be my question to you, friend. It's like, how do they deal with this Symmetra? I think once she gets charged up on these shields from Sig, she just runs right at you. And what are you going to do? And it's, for now, it's just to keep her at range, right? If we have better fall off than she does, we'll be okay. But Mist evaporated in the streets once again. And the war of attrition will go the way of the Assassins. And they are just critical hitting everybody. They get full control of this point.
Oh, yes, they do. Fluky is going to fall to Mad Bucks, but I mean, that's just an insanely aggressive push that's coming out right now. Masagaki going to try and mirror the Symmetra. And I mean, I got to be honest, I really think the play might be to just go like Mei and Ramatra and just run at this team aggressively. Like, I think that might be helpful. Oh, and there goes the Tectonic Shock, but immediately shut down by Miss Secretion. What a great play.
Last time I checked the Pokemon type chart, Rock does not beat ground, but it surely did in that instance. The Gravitic Bucks bringing them up and smashing them into the dirt. Mist with a double kill for themselves. Fantastic from the main tank, and good stabilization for the defense.
Yeah, that was great for the Emerald Eagles, especially because all you had to do was burn the Gravitic Flux, right? You managed to save the rest of your ultimates for this fight. You got out 2 ults from EIG. The only downside I would say here is that because your composition does not have the Lucio and EIG's comp does, you don't really have an answer for that sound barrier that's going to be incoming from EIG.
Absolutely not. And that will be, as soon as that Symmetra is buzzed up, I mean, having that sound barrier is just so good to get her into the backline and just pester people down. They'll teleport, but which way are they going? It will be the Kitsune Rush, but people are taken out of it. The Deadeye from the skies will eliminate one, and oh, the push, it fails in disaster for the Assassins.
Oh my gosh, and to lose your Kitsune Rush too. I was talking about how you don't have an answer for the sound barrier, right? Now you do, because you have your Kitsune Rush, right? So you're able to kind of counteract and do enough damage to outdo that sound barrier. Now you're in a really bad spot if you're EIG, because you're not going to have any sort of ult economy here for the next few fights. Yeah, that's a great teleporter. But you're just stuck in a situation where all you got is a sound barrier. You've already lost your Kiriko.
Oh, and you lose your Symmetra as well. And now pincered from both sides in the underpass are the Assassins. They get turned on immediately. The Kitsune Rush, however, was deployed in that fight. Maybe a bit of an error.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, honestly, for Emerald Eagles to burn through that ultimate. But, I mean, you do still have the Captive Sun, and you're about to come up on both of your DPS ultimates in that Sim Barrier and the Deadeye, so there is potentially, you know, you have some answers for a Sound Barrier, right? You might have to over-ult to deal with it, but there are answers. That was insane.
And the answer to that push is just to slam the teleporter shut. No way they could get to that high ground, and the streets of New York are covered in blood once more.
Oh, they absolutely are. I mean, You know, the real answer there is you can't just teleport into the middle of people that can like throw a bunch of things at you that kill you. You know, that's the real answer to that question right there. So EIG going to go back to the composition that they were so successful on last map. Going to try out that Zarya and the Vendetta once again, but I don't know. This is going to be really hard to like land a lot of damage with Vendetta into.
Shadow, I feel like you have to use the Captain's Son just to get the sound barrier out, so then it frees up this Deadeye to do some real work, but they will deploy the teleporter instead to do a little bit of a ring around the Rosie, and onto Symmetra immediately they go. The Captain's Son is now leveraged, but to what effect? Basically nothing. The sound barrier in response to keep the team alive. The Zarya doesn't know which way to shoot. Somebody help him. 5 HP and a dream gets out of dodge the last second.
Muchetti, literally 5 HP, actually gets out of that fight somehow. I think the craziest thing about that entire thing is that Emerald Eagles only burned a captive Sun through that entire moment. It looked like Emerald Eagles was going to lose that fight so many times over, and they just somehow didn't manage to do that, and that's just a really good response by them.
Now, with a ton of pressure, 30 seconds remaining and only the photon barrier to use, and now there's so much shielding on this map. How's anybody even taking any damage? I don't see the health bars toggling for even an instant. Haywire trying to bully their way forward. The Symmetras were going at it, but Fluky will third party the duel and take him out with a flashbang. The Deadeye, what? From a sneaky position, can anybody get there in time? Yes! Point blank range will secure La Lupa. The pelt will be hung for the Cowboy. Muchete is there, however, but where are the reinforcements? No one is at the back of the Russian, and the Gravitic Flux will bring a few folks and slam them back down. The Kitsune Rush, however, will keep the healing pumping, but the damage is too strong. Overpowered are the team in red, the Assassins. They face the onslaught once more. 2 remaining members are being whirlwind to death, and the defense in the underpass, it'll hold.
Yeah, and I mean, Eclipse really showing why they swapped in to play this Iari right now.
Yeah.
I want to see the stat screen, but I feel like they only died like twice. Okay, it was 2 times. A really great job there of just staying alive for a large majority of that game, right? They only lost 2 fights, right? If my memory is serving me properly, they realistically only lost 2 fights, so then they just didn't die for the rest of the map.
Yeah, once that, it was almost like a bunker comp of old Shadow. It's like once that Sigma really found its footing, it couldn't get dislodged, and they didn't know how to get past it. They tried these sneaky teleporters on the side, in front, under the bridge, whatever. They couldn't find anything. It was like they were being hard read every step of the way, and then the ult economy from the Emerald Eagles have them flying to at least a great defensive hold, but now they have to go on the attack. They have to get at least to checkpoint 2 in order to win this map 2.
Yeah, it's definitely doable. Definitely doable. We do see a lot of teams get caught underneath that bridge right there, so it's not a crazy spot to get stuck in by any means. But now EIG looking like they're going to be on Ana Lucio. I'm not a believer. I got to be honest with you. I'm not a believer in the Ana Lucio composition. It's a lot. You're putting a lot of pressure on your Ana to just be healing so many people, because Spiky Cloud is not going to be able to do a lot of healing on that Lucio, so it's going to be pretty much all on your Ana.
Ooh. Well, the shots better be clean from Starwolf. We know she's a very good player, but that's a hefty burden to lift. Masagaki looking for the rotation around, a great teleport usage, everybody following suit. They have to expect this rotation to come through. Yeah, they do spot it out quite clean. We see Muchete on the Ramatra. Finally, the leader of Null Sector has made their way to the streets of New York. Now caught in a tricky situation is the attacking side, but they're just waiting for this teleporter so they can rotate again.
And they have indeed deployed that teleporter, looking to try and get some positioning across the map. Nothing really happening just yet. And oh my goodness, everybody getting low.
Very low, but it will be the attacking squad who opens up the kill feed, of course, and Haywire finds their opposite number, snips his HP pool to 0, but purchase on the point has been found from the attacking squad.
Yeah, they did indeed. that using EIG's comp against them, right? They used the Symmetra last round on attack, and they said, hey, we could do that too. I like that character. It lets me be where I want to be at on the map immediately. We should definitely employ that ourselves. and essentially all you have to do is take down Starwolf, and like I said, there's not really any healing outside of that, and that's a very diveable character in that Ana.
Oh man, Masagaki denied the entry point. The bodyguard being Mad Bucks. No $5 at the door for you. Missed, holding on to the point, creeping the cart ever so slightly forward. They have the respawn advantage, so they know Masagaki will be back in this engagement shortly. The biotic grenade does go awry, but this Deadeye from this off angle one shot will do it all. Could it be a quadruple? Almost a highlight reeling play, and it's Starwolf, that she is the sniper of Overwatch for a reason, will clap back immediately, and it's just trades all over the map.
Oh, and Haywire getting taken out right there. Oh, Starwolf winning the ones. Oh, I doubted you. I doubted you unnecessarily. This was the correct answer the entire time. Who knew?
Technical ability can beat theory any day of the week, my friend. Shadow Wolf putting on a highlight reel performance for sure. She is feeling herself now, but plenty of time on the clock. 4 minutes is enough to go through at least 2 ult cycles for these teams. A quick trade now from Fluky onto the Genji and Masagaki onto the Soldier. That's an interesting switch up. Let's see how they utilize the Tectonic Shock, though. Will get first move and secure 2. The Archaeologist makes a pile of bones, and they're looking for the Sigma next. The Grasp cannot do anything and miss, just standing there waiting to die, but they deny her the Mercy. So much time now wasted by the team in blue. Great defense from the Assassins.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen the Nano Tectonic Shock. A lot of damage coming through from Mad Bucks right there. So that's a new combo to keep in mind. I mean, oh my goodness. But, I mean, coming into this next fight, there is a sound barrier and that Annihilation going to be available. And so you have something to counter out the Gravitic Flux coming through from Emerald Eagles. But Emerald Eagles does have enough ultimates to start pushing this fight in their favor. I'm just going to be really curious to see how they engage this fight.
A lot for me rides on Eclipse, not only for the healing, like where they place this pylon, but how they get this captive sun. But the Kitsune will guide us and hopefully to a victory. Bum rushing to the high ground goes the Eagles. They are looking for their prey, and they find 2. Muchete not even able to pop the Annihilation, and 3 will fall. Cart progress for the attacking squad.
Yep, we're coming up on that last fight territory, Philly. It's coming down to the wire here, right? Last fight, Gravitic Flux online for Mist. Can try and do something with that. Accretion coming out. Muchetti has that Annihilation. It does get popped, and they have already taken down Eclipse.
The nanobots are surely hungry here on Sunday night, and they feast for Flash, but they do not feast on Rock, as he'll take that to the face and go down. But the reinforcements have arrived. The tank has done enough for Haywire to try to deadlift the team. Fluke, all they can do is go back to the gray screen.
Oh my goodness, this is a bad situation though for EIG. It was good for them to be able to win that fight and be able to hold this point, but now you're stuck in a spot where a Captive Sun and a Blade are available for your side, right? You imagine you just dash in, pop Blade, dash again, and you've activated like 3 people's suns to just explode immediately. I mean, this could go very poorly, especially if they time it just right.
That's quite a bit of burst damage, and Masagaki, they're very close to that Death Blossom as well, and maybe that's what they're looking for, but the Captive Sun will start us off, and immediately snuffed out is the Peruvian, but here is the Blade looking to pop some of those suns, and will pop some skulls instead, hacking through the back line. They take down 1, they take down 2, make it 3, only is Mad Bucks, and they will find a parting shot. Can they get to the health back in time. Yes, they can, but against 2-barreled shotguns, that's not going to be good enough. Can the Venture stall out long enough for the reinforcements to arrive onto the wrecking ball? Goes Muchete and squishing the Fox into the dirt. This could be a turnaround for the side in red. All of the assassins are grouping up together, but this Sigma, so difficult to dislodge. Another accretion to send the wrecking ball flying. Now the team in blue, they are crashing onto the point once more, rolling through as the wrecking ball squishing another member. This time, Eclipse, so much healing and damage taken off the board, but still missed. Looking like one from Naruto, putting all the hand symbols together, but they're the only remaining person on the point as the overtime wick is surely about to burn. It's Masagagi with the Death Blossom, the Beyblade, let rip once more. One goes down, looking for two. The Gravitic Flux out of the range, but oh my gosh, off the point, the defense, and 2 maps go for the Eagles.
Oh, the Sig 9. The Sig 9. It does end quite a few fights. And I mean, what a great map from Emerald Eagles. Just, man. I mean, it was looking not good for them at first, and then they just totally recovered on that second point defense. It was like an immediate capture for EIG. And then Emerald Eagles said, okay, we figured out your composition. We will sit back, play our distance as we need to, and there was just no answer from EIG. That's how it's kind of felt so far, honestly. It's that EIG has like a punch, and it's a really good one, and then Emerald Eagles responds to it, and EIG does not have a response after that. They don't have that second punch, essentially, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I'm from Philly, man. I've seen every Rocky movie. I know exactly what you're saying. Shadow, this is why we love the game of Overwatch. Fights like these where it's like you don't know which way it's gonna go. It's desperate from both sides. It's just heroics, outplayability, just one false move or one clutch play. If we had to do MVPs for just a map, I have to give it to Mist. The amount of time they were stalling on the point, surviving, and then that Gravitic Flux C9 at the end, a miraculous stuff. Look at them, 12,000 damage.
Yeah, I mean, it was an insanely good performance to come in off the bench and just immediately get to work like that. That is what you want to see when you make substitutions like this. You want to see it work out incredibly well like that. And I mean, just across the board, great performances from Emerald Eagles so far. EIG, like I said, they keep having like really good moments, but they can't string them together continuously so far.
Yeah, it's that 1-2. They got the one punch, but where's the combination play, right? Where's the left hook into the uppercut, into the gut check? It's just they just got one punch in them, and if it's like a haymaker from like Floyd Mayweather, okay, you can knock somebody out in one go, and that's fine. But this is a sturdy squad. They can take their licks, the Eagles. So you need more than one punch to do them in.
Yeah, they absolutely do. They've gotten their jab right now. They need to figure out how to come back with that cross, right? That's the real key and what needs to happen. They need to figure out their cross. And, you know, we're actually going to give them some time to figure out their cross. We're going to go to a short break here, but stick around. You're going to want to see how this series ends between these two teams.
Welcome back, CGL fans. This is the Sunday night showdown between the Emerald Eagles and the EIG Assassins. This is a losers round 1 matchup. So basically, this is do or die. You win or you go home. And right now, the Eagles are flying high. They're up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, they've been pretty dominant so far, I got to be honest. Like, they've been close maps so far, right, where they've been very competitive and back and forth. But, I mean, I was making the analogy before. EIG has a really good first punch, but when they get punched back, they don't really have a good counter to that punch back. And that's what we've seen consistently throughout these first 2 maps at the very least. So, I don't know. I'm gonna be excited to see where they take us on this next map.
We were kind of talking during the break. Do you go with like a flashpoint and ban the Malga, and force them into a ram mirror or something like that? There's so many opportunities still left with the different map or game modes that we have in the pool. We still have flashpoint, push, and escort. So it's really tough right now. But Assassins, they have the map pick.
Yeah, they do, and looks like we actually have gotten that pick. And looks like you were right on point there. They're going to be picking that flashpoint map, going to Suravasa right now. And again, I haven't mentioned this in our other ban phases, but EIG has deferred the first ban the other 2 times. I think this is the time where you don't do that and you just get rid of the Malga, right? Even if you don't want to necessarily play the Ram, right? You want to play the Zarya, just get rid of the Malga, because the Malga can just instantly delete your Zarya with just a well-placed stomp.
And let's say they don't defer the ban, right? If you are the Eagle side, you ban a tank just to make sure that the Malga's safe, right? Like, that would be the smart thing to do. But I think we have our bans ready here. So let's pull up the screen, and then the Assassins wisely will select first. Let's see if the Samoan Warrior will be removed from this one.
So there's 2 options. You can ban the Malga if you really think that that's what's the big thing. I think you either got to ban the Malga or you got to ban the Reaper. That's it. One of those 2 characters has to go and needs to just not be available to be played this map, because it's the 2 of them together that can just completely mow down the Zarya comp. One of them, you're not going to be able to mow down the Zarya quite as easily, so you just need to get rid of one of the 2.
They'll go for the Reaper instead. They think the cardiac overdrive from the Malga and just the Reaper bullets is just too much sustain. So that leaves now the Eagles to select somebody. Do you think they go for a tank? It's their turn to maybe ban the Ramatra instead, possibly.
You know, this could be a point where you ban the Zarya. That could be the thing that you do right now. Because Malga into Ramatra, you're happy to do that, right? What does Ramatra do? Ramatra holds his hands up. What does Malga do? Malga shoots Ramatra and gains health off of it. So it's like, it's a matchup that you're more than willing to take. So I think if you're Emerald Eagles, I think Zarya is actually a really solid ban here. We've seen EIG really wants to play that Zarya Vendetta comp.
You don't think that they might be eyeing the support line here? I mean, we say Kiriko always has to be banned at least once a series, right? It's that unwritten rule in Overwatch. This might be the time, but the Eagles are taking the time to figure this one out, and it will be the Zarya. My friend, you're like 5 for 5 in this series. Well done.
Well, I mean, it's more so for Emerald Eagles, you're just wanting to make it more difficult for EIG, right? Because you haven't lost a map yet. This is just one of those, we know that you want to play this comp, so we're just not going to allow you to do that. It's like a petty ban almost, right? Like, you could have banned something else, but getting rid of the Zarya, you're like, yeah, you're just not going to play that comp that we've seen you err towards mostly.
I saw Reinhardt as one of the favorite characters, and that was for Cybergirl, and we haven't seen him yet for the Assassins. This could be an opportunity to bring them in, have the Reinhardt swinging through, but let's take a look at the rosters. There have been more switches. It's like the hot potato of seats for these teams. The Emerald Eagle making some adjustments.
Yeah, they're just going back to the comp. We saw them play map 1, right? Dulce coming back in, and Masagaki and Eclipse swapping their roles once again. So this makes total sense to me, right? You're back on a map where you want to play Lucio, so put your Lucio player back in, and we'll get back to the more standard style compositions. There is a chance that we see like a Junker Queen style comp get played here. I predict that we're going to see more of that Malga that we saw in map 1, though, even with the Reaper being off the table.
100%. And so if they go with the Malga, do they go with something? What other DPS can they go for? Do they go for a Tracer? Do they go for the Vendetta? Looks like the Onron is the one they're posturing on now.
It makes sense, you know. They both catch people on fire.
Yeah.
You know, they both get more critical when people are caught on fire. So it's an instance where it's like, okay, these two things seem like they really go together to me. So let's try and put them together. Since the Reaper can't be played anymore, you know, we may as well try this out.
Some natural synergies between the fire benders, if you will, of this game. But an Onron on the other side for the Assassins. We saw how good Haywire was on map 1. Let's see if they can have a repeat performance when everything is on the line. As a reminder, folks, if the Assassins lose in Saravasa, they are out of the tournament for CGL Season 17. Eclipse shot down immediately. A flick shot from Starwolf will delete him from the server. Well done. An opening frag will go the way of the red side. Let's see if they can convert on to the point. A thing we haven't talked about yet, Shadow, is this Hazard as the main tank for the Assassins.
Oh yeah, the Hazard. I generally don't think the Hazard should be playing that well into this Malga, but Muchetti is making it work very well so far. Just doing a good job of, you know, dodging the Malga. That's kind of what you have to do, because you can just get eviscerated so quickly by those chain guns. You have to just not be anywhere near this Malga if you're Muchetti.
It's a full-on dive. They're going to find a character and just jump on them, try to burst them down, and then take him out from there. And it's Starwolf once again, a kunai with the lobotomy onto Praise, taking down their opposite number. Fluky trying to do something from the skybox on this Echo. Glad to see that switch, but man, the team in red dominant so far in this.
Yeah, I gotta be honest right now, the Malga is kind of the odd man out in this comp right now. Like, you kind of need to play something else. I think there's a lot of different heroes that could work more effectively here. Orisa, you know, Ramatra, just something else, because not having the Reaper able to just mow someone down with you is making this too difficult.
Well, they go for the Bastion instead. Definitely a mower and shooter of bullets. But this Echo caught in a really awkward spot. Oh no! All the members in blue eviscerated once again. The defense stout, and the team kill comes through.
Oh my gosh, and the craziest thing is that EIG has needed like no ultimates for this entire time, so they just have everything available here. And Masagaki said, "I've had enough of this, I'm going hog." So that's where we're at now.
Oh lordy. Okay, but we're seeing Praise on the Zenyatta, so there's some natural synergy between these two as well, right? Discord somebody, hook them in, and just blow them up. They don't even have a chance to rebuttal. But you have to find those picks first. We know the chain hook has had some cooldown adjustments. Oh, but locked into the blender and turned into pork chops. That was an easy kill for the Assassins. All they have to use is to make it rain.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness, this is a bad stagger right now. This is just, oh yeah, just die. Just die. Good work, team. That needed to happen very quickly. But like you said, all that had to be expended was that downpour right there. And Masagaki has gone back to the Malga. Again, it's not a bad pick per se. I just think that it's going to be really hard to make it work in unison without that Reaper. That Reaper is so key to making the Malga work, especially in Diamond.
The Hazard just doesn't seem like they were expecting this, right? Now they don't know how to deal with it, and that's part of your coaching and your practice, is how do I adjust on the fly, and that is the game of Overwatch. The Tectonic shot denied here from Praise. Well done from them. They find a 2K. All we knew this player, she could be on a tear. The Vermilion% though brings the Onron back to life and immediately put back into the dirt by the Zenyatta once more.
Yeah, this Zenyatta, Praise Dazai, just putting in some work right now. There's another one taking down Muchetti, the floating Zenyatta. I love that perk so much. That's another one. Praise Dazai catching another body. Hold on. You're going to try and catch out this Star Wolf now. I don't think they're going to be able to, but 4 is more than enough.
Shadow, I gotta tell you, I've been playing the game since 2016. I still don't have the Rapid Discord trophy, and Zenyatta's my favorite character. I play Zenyatta at least like 3 times a day. I'm trying to get this. Somebody help me, and I'm pretty sure Praise almost got it there, and I would have been so jealous because she is on fire with this monk, and now it is the Transcendence that is online and available should they need it, as well as the Kitsune Rush. They're in a good spot.
Yeah, they're in a really, really good spot right now. They should be able to hold this Transcendence too, because the only thing EIG has is their own Kitsune Rush.
And they utilize it here now, but it's a salvo of missiles, the martyrs from the heaven, and now it's the Transcendence to keep everybody alive through it, and the Discord unleashed onto the hazard, and that's all they need from healing to damage. It's a quick switch from Praise, and that will be a point well defended.
Yeah, great job there from the side of the Emerald Eagles. I don't think EIG will be able to get a full touch here. They might just back off, try and take the next point fight. Looks like there is actually going to be a touch from Mad Bucks.
Are you mad, brother? They go for the touch? No, okay, they back off to keep their lives and think better of it. Maybe they'll have some good defense on this next point, but Saravasa is now knotted up 1-to-1.
It absolutely is. Emerald Eagles looking a lot better now that they have swapped over to this Zenyatta. I mean, that's really been the key, right? Yeah. You got your Zenyatta player taking down so many people so consistently, makes it a lot easier to play the game, right? Coming into this next fight, though, Downpour going to be online for Muchetti, but Emerald Eagles has so many ultimates to potentially try and counteract that.
Yeah, the Kitsune Rush for sure. The Deadeye, but there will be the cage fight to start us off. An immediate Suzu laid on, but everybody caught in chains and put in handcuffs. The Malga burning through them. Don't even have to really expend anything else, but wait, Shadow, what is this? The kill feed now in red. This is exactly where the Assassins want, and it's a turn around for the team in red. The Malga doing everything they can to stay alive, but they look around and nobody from their team is there.
Oh, that is so tough. They got Muchetti so low when that initial cage came out, and they just didn't finish the target. And everybody just kind of got caught in that small room with the hazard and the venture, and it was just too much damage overall. Really unfortunate to lose that fight because you had every advantage if you were Emerald Eagles.
And you know, that's another spray I've been trying to get, is the one with the for the spikes for the hazard, and I think he definitely got it there. That was damage onto everybody within that cage fight, and the jagged spikes do the work again, this time onto Eclipse. Not enough healing to keep the Bastion in it. Fortunately, no ultimates expended, but a treasure trove for the team in blue. They are on to the point. They have stampeded their way, but what can they do to stay alive? The Transcendence will be popped to do just that. The Machete almost survived the Kitsune Rush to try to do it, but the Moo will go home. Stomped into the dirt is the Fox Spirit, and that will be a great turnaround here for the Eagles.
I mean, Mad Bucks, though, is just going on an absolute tear, getting like 3 kills in the middle of that fight. Going to allow EIG to potentially re-engage this fight very, very quickly. Emerald Eagles does have the ultimates to win this fight, but they're going to have to back off and give a little bit of space while the rest of their team comes back.
This might be the opportunity for the Assassins to make their way onto the point, and they have the primary target. That's Eclipse, who's now a pile of scrap. Mad Bucks, there's a reason they prioritize this person in the draft. It will be Fluky with the Deadeye to create some space on the point, and finds himself a 2K, the Kitsune Rush, to help him out.
Oh, yeah, that was a great couple of kills there from Fluky. But you're stuck in a really bad situation now. You have a cage fight and this artillery strike that could potentially do a lot of damage, actually. I've never considered that combo, but that is something you can definitely do right now. But they're not going to do that. They're instead going to launch it before everybody gets there.
The virus now taking hold. It's a meteoric rise and a meteoric fall for Fluky, the primary target. The other DPS now in the sights. Oh, he doesn't get the finishing kill, but the team will back him up. The overtime wick is burning. It's a 2v2, making a 3v2 scuffle on the point. The Malga eviscerated, and the point will flip and potentially go the way of the Assassins.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate if you're Emerald Eagles, right? You just didn't have the ult economy, and Haywire's override protocol managed to get Fluky, and once that happened, it was kind of just free reign for EIG at that point. I think that point, too, is just going to be really tough for Praised Ozai to play because it's such an enclosed area. There's a lot of cover to hide behind, potentially hide from the Zenyatta. But maybe on these other points, you'll be able to get more of those discords out more consistently.
You think this one's better for the Zenyatta, Shadow?
I don't know. This is going to be... It's tough. It's tough, but we saw Praised Ozai do a really good job 2 points ago.
And Fluky doing incredible work there. 2 shots, 2 kills. The hack immediately on the hazard. There's no leap to get out of this one, but they see that the downpour is available for Mad Bucks, doing everything they can to keep the point in their favor, but the Tectonic Shock doesn't find much purchase. Shooed away is the pesky Venture, and it'll be Praised Ozai to potentially get the kill. No, the turnaround is there. Still, Mad Bucks is lingering on the point.
I just want to point out that Praised Ozai dodged the Tectonic Shock by floating in midair as Zenyatta. The downpour comes out, though. Muchetti already caught on to both Dulce and Eclipse. Oh, my goodness.
The Violent Leap surely doing its namesake here, claiming 2 lives, but Masagaki has something to say about that. Revenge is certainly sweet, but doesn't stand tall long enough. The point will go the way of the Assassins.
It definitely does. And oh man, Philly, this next fight is the fight, right? Look at all these ultimates online for both teams. I mean, you got the Kitsune, you got that sound barrier, Eclipse trying to catch on to Mad Bucks, getting them with the virus, but not managing to finish off that kill. And I mean, it's all going to be about how they engage this.
The cage fight, the beat drops. Now it is to lock down the hazard, the Transcendence layered on top, and it has to be to keep him alive. The Deadeye will gun him down. The Cowboy doing what he can for the squad. The Mauga still pretty healthy on this point, just burning through the battlefield. It's 2 for the main tank, make it 3 in a costly fight, but 1 needed for the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't know about that Deadeye in particular, right? That felt a little bit much because you burnt 3 ultimates to get 1 kill essentially right there. And that's just not really a good exchange, especially because EIG has their sound barrier now. But maybe Eclipse can catch on to Spiky Cloud early and potentially negate a lot of that sound barrier with the CMP.
We've seen Spiky be very shifty. They haven't been caught by these very much, but that is a virus that will take them down just in the neutral. The Lucio eliminated. Now it's Mad Bucks with a 2K, the EMP to block their advance. It's a 3, it's a triple, make it 4 as he pushes Zenyatta off the edge with the floating monk. Will make it back to safety, but not for long as it's still Mad Bucks who is in a frenzy on the point.
Yeah, Mad Buck going absolutely crazy on this venture. And it looks like the team is starting to make it back for Emerald Eagles. That sound barrier is now going off for Spiky Cloud, and I think that's going to be enough for them to win that fight.
Bedlam on the point. Yeah, okay. You'll take that here if you're the Eagles, knowing that your Transcendence and Kitsune Rush will be available, but now all of the speedy characters have to be switched to. Can they make it there in time? Yes, Fluky will get there, but burnt to a crisp is Eclipse. Transcendence just to touch the point once more, but they need to get more members on their Haywire. What? Falls off the edge. Disaster, but it doesn't matter now as 2 for the Eagles make it 3. Fall the Kitsune Rush is a martyrdom for the Fox Spirit. It has to be Masagaki to do everything. Squished into the dirt is the Lucio, but hops, skips, and jumps away is the frogging DJ. A desperate cage fight. The last stand for the Maugas. The overtime wick burns. 1 more member make it 2. The DPS are jumping through and jumping into the grave. The overtime wick still going, folks. Can anybody get there? No. To map 4 we go.
Oh my goodness, it took a lot there for EIG to eventually take it, but they do win that map in what I would say is fairly dominant fashion. It really felt like that Emerald Eagles just couldn't quite figure out a composition once they had that Reaper taken from them, right? There's not an easy answer for what goes with Mauga if it isn't Reaper, right? At least I don't feel like there is, personally. There's not like an easy character to just plug and play that does the same thing that Reaper does in this game.
Brother, I think it's this Venture. They just had no answers for it, so you have to go to a map that guy can't play. Like, Mad Bucks and Venture, peanut butter and jelly, whatever you want to call it in terms of good combinations. That guy was just, or that person just so incredible on this character. Is there a map that you think the Eagles need to go to make sure Venture can't be played?
Well, let's see. I think Venture can be played on pretty much every map, if I'm totally honest, just because of the fact, that you can dig in the ground, right? Their movement is just incredibly, what's the word? Adaptable. You can use it pretty much anywhere and be pretty effective with it, quite honestly. So I think you can use it on basically any map. I mean, what do we have left? We have Escort and Push, right?
Yeah.
Like, none of those maps are really screaming to me like Venture isn't a good pick here. I think Venture's like an equal pick on every map, in my opinion at least.
So that's scary. I mean, like we said, last time these teams fought, it was a 3-2 victory for the Assassins. We may have a reverse sweep on our hands, Shadow, in this round 1 losers match. This is going to be a fantastic one to behold, folks. Make sure you get your snacks, get your drinks ready, and hold on to your seats. But let's take a look at this scoreboard. Anything that stands out to you?
A lot of deaths coming through from the side of the Emerald Eagles. That's the main thing that I notice here. Masagaki, the only person in single-digit deaths. I mean, it's tough to be able to win when you have a 13-minute map and a lot of people are near that number, so everybody's dying like once a minute, and you just compare it to the other side. Pretty much everybody's in single digits except for Haywire, and one of Onron's ultimates is that they can just revive themselves. So yeah,
Challenging for sure, and I'm looking at Mad Bucks with 38 eliminations. That's absolutely bonkers from that character, and 30 assists from Starwolf, not to mention how clinical she's been with those kunais, with the ultimates, keeping her team alive with Suzus. That was just well worked. This is what we expected from the Assassins. They may have found their momentum here on Saravasa. We always say it's either like the flashpoint or the push that can really swing things in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Having your Kiriko do like equal damage to healing and both of them be very high numbers is also kind of crazy, quite frankly. That means you're pressing all the buttons like so much. Like that's the best way I could probably put that. You're pressing all the buttons a lot. That is what you're doing on that character if you're able to output that much healing and that much damage.
She's not just a heal bot, folks. You gotta heal kunai, right? There's a flow to her kit progression. So love to see that from our Kiriko players, and I love to see this next map, Shadow. Hippie, let's bring it up and reveal it for the crowd. We are going to Italia. It is time to hit the streets of Venice in Rialto.
Yeah, going to Rialto here. I mean, I don't dislike the pick by any means, but I'm just curious to see what Emerald Eagles are going to try and play here, because we've seen them play Mauga and we've seen them play Sigma. So you can play Sigma on this map. You can definitely play Sigma on this map. It works. But I think this is more a map where we would expect to see like a dive more traditionally, and EIG has been the team that has erred more towards that, especially on that last map playing that Hazard.
I wonder if this will allow for more of the long-range characters. Cassidy, Widow, Ashe, Sojourn, etc., right? To maybe find some purchase on this point. The Eagles will be banning first. Is there something you're looking for them to take off the board?
Well, let's take a look here. Just taking a look around the map. I think they're going to ban Hazard. I don't know what else you would potentially go for. Oh, there's the Kiriko ban. You know, I should have guessed that. It had to happen at some point, you know?
Absolutely do. It's in the rules, right? Folks, go to CGL rules. You can say Kiriko's got to be banned by one team at least in the series once. And that makes sense. That Starwolf was just incredible on that character. You cannot let her have another repeat performance. The Assassins now, they have an opportunity to ban a tank. They could go for a Mauga, a Sigma, or a Risa themselves. That would hamstring the Eagles greatly.
Yeah, I think Sigma's probably the ban that they go for here. Just because we've seen it. We've seen them play it. We've seen them be incredibly effective at it. Yep. And this is a map where you can run that Sigma to good effectiveness. And yeah, that's exactly what I would have expected.
Yeah, well done. So, Maybe they go for the Orisa, and maybe we see Mist back in here. They had a fantastic performance on the Sigma, yes, I know, but they're a good Orisa player as well. So could be some time for further adjustments. We haven't seen anything being switched up from the Assassins. They've been riding the same 5 characters. They've got to be, you know, pretty exhausted at this point. This has been a grueling series, to say the least. I'm very interested to see if there's any switch-ups.
I am too, honestly, just to see, but they seem like a team where that's just their players, potentially. Yeah. Maybe they swap somebody in, but they seem like a team that, like, this is our 5, this is just what we're going to do the whole series, so I wouldn't expect any swaps, per se. I'm more curious as to what compositions we see coming out here, right? Because we're probably going to see something different that we haven't seen yet, to say the very least. Because Kiriko's been in every single map so far, so we're going to see something different from the back line, and we're going to see something different in terms of a tank line, because if they run out on Rialto and play Malga, I'm just going to get off the cast. Like, I'm going to unplug my mic and I'm going to leave, because that cannot be what happens here.
Well, Shadow, maybe taking a look at the lineups will give you some indication of how they're looking to play. Hippie, let's bring it up and see what we've got. Some substitutions on the board. We've seen this before. Eclipse going into the support line. Masagaki on the DPS, and Mist now back in for the tank.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense to me. Going to be going for that double flex back line again. This time we might actually see the BAP and the Zen, right? Or if we see the Iari and the Zen, that would be kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie to you, but the Pylon can do a lot of healing, but you're at the point where your Pylon is, like, required to stay up at all times. But we saw how good Praised Azai was on that Zenyatta, so I'm kind of like, I kind of want to see that Zen again.
I wouldn't mind BAP Zen. I think that would be... Yeah. It's a gritty backline, right? That's what you always say, but one that's incredibly impactful. It will be the Ana on the attack first. There are some hiding holes for the sniper. Let's see if they can make use of them here. I've got to what? Spiky? Where'd you go, buddy? You decided to go for a swim in the canals of Venice. But I have to highlight Soab, our observer for the evening, and of course Hippie. You know them, you love them, being the producer for our match tonight. So we're seeing some of those long-range characters we were expecting. Masagaki on the Widow.
Yeah, you got to come out and take one shot, right? That's just the rules on this map. It's the same rule that you have on, what's it called, King's Row as well. And it looks like Praised Azai is going to do the same thing with this Zenyatta to start off.
Ochete back on the Hazard. It threw the Eagles for a loop last time. Let's see if they've made some adjustments. Fluky on this Genji was really good on Midtown, just staying alive, had some good blades, great elimination secures, but this Mad Bucks guy's been paying the bills on this venture, just digging up gold time and time again. That was someone to be wary of. Painted in purple is Mist, but it will be Spiky Cloud who gets the kill feed going first.
Yeah, catching out Fluky early, that is a bad situation to be down. Your Genji already. Eclipse going insanely low. That is actually 1 HP if I have ever seen it in my life, but is managing to stay alive. Got slept. So is that like an Ana diff right there? Like you just get slept by the other Ana? That's the moment right there. Fluky catching out to Mad Bucks though. That's going to be a big kill for Emerald Eagles.
Revenge surely is sweet, taking out the star DPS player, and that gives him free reign into the back line. Forces the Hazard to peel for the Lucio, and that's Fluky says space created for the squad. Masagaki taking a snooze real quick, but he's in the right position to secure some kills, and this cart is creeping ever closer to the checkpoint, but we've seen teams stall out under the bridge before.
Yeah, the bridge, it's a really good point to stall out at, as far as just having that pressure in. Praised Azai gonna pop that Transcendence already. The Nano has actually gone out as well.
What? Onto who? I didn't see anybody glowing with the buff. Mad Bucks surely isn't, but they don't even need it. They're looking to find the kills. Pressured is Star Wolf, and extinguished is the support character, but it's a trade of players as the cart is still being battled over. It's Praised Azai from the top ropes, and it will be a sound barrier that has to keep everybody alive to keep the defense going.
Yeah, great fight when coming through from EIG. It ended up costing them their sound barrier, and luckily Muchetti was able to get back fast enough, because that was actually where the nano went. It went on to Muchetti trying to keep them alive, but they just died anyways. So you kind of just ended up not being able to use your nano boost. But Emerald Eagles burning their nano and that Terra Surge and the Transcendence as well. But Praise Dazai is so good at this Zenyatta that they're already 63 to another one.
Sheesh. But, I mean, look at this. Tectonic Shock, Vermilion Ascent. So many lethal ultimates, and plotting out the dig site now is Mad Bucks, and they're going to force the Venture to burrow underground, but that's okay. Into the back line they go once more. The Ana, the prime target, but denied. Starwolf says, I can do you better. They'll take down the Reaper. I mean, this is just a trade of blows, but the time is dwindling for the Eagles.
It absolutely is. If you're Emerald Eagles, you need to have a good ult fight here, right? Because you're not really forcing anything out of EIG. Like, you're losing these fights and not forcing them to use anything. All they use is that Tectonic Shock in that last fight. They still have the Vermilion Ascent. They still have the Downpour, and now they built up to that as well. And we are just, this is a bad situation for Emerald Eagles.
No umbrellas in sight in Rialto, but a Transcendence to save the day. This could be the opportunity, but if a couple people are painted in purple, they won't receive the healing, but it will be enough to sustain through the fight and bully their way onto the point. Starwolf, they're just going to tag it from this side room to make sure the cap doesn't go through, and splattered into the locker from Mist. Now there's no healing here in the KO Ken from the Genjis, hacking through it once more, but Moschetti has the stronger blade, finds one amidst the chaos. Finally, the point will be capped.
It does finally go the way of Emerald Eagles. And I would say the biggest thing was that Transcendence coming through from Praise Dazai, just keeping everyone alive enough to just counteract what the side of EIG was trying to do in that fight. And I mean, I keep saying it, but I mean, Praise Dazai 42%, and that Transcendence just happened like 30 seconds ago.
I believe they have the sub roll, right, where they get the tactician, they can accrue some of the stuff, so if they're doing a lot of damage, that's fine by them. Starwolf almost hits the nano, but a knock to the noggin will send Fluky to the grave, and Mad Bucks will oblige Praise Dazai and do the same. It will be a double for making a triple from the announcer. The defense is so stout from the Assassins.
Yeah, it has absolutely been very much impenetrable, except like in singular moments. There's been singular moments that Emerald Eagles have managed to push this cart, and that's been basically how they captured this entire point so far. They'll just get a stray kill just out of nowhere. That's really been their primary source of getting this cart pushed.
Praise Dazai praying for a stray kill with the volley of orbs. Masagaki preying on this Lucio. Few more shots will do it. The Discord was there for just a moment. Starwolf now has it upon them, but Moschette with the peel once more. Keep their support alive, but only for a moment. Missed. Now bullying their way onto the card, but that is a fantastic sound barrier from Spiky Cloud to help sustain through the battle, and the defense will hold once more.
Yeah, I mean, great fight hold once again, and it isn't really costing them anything. Like, that's the main thing. They're doing this with very little ult usage, and Emerald Eagles not even really getting into position to even try and use their ultimates to begin with. That's probably the most disappointing part. They're coming up on a Nano Blade combo here, which could be good, and it's got to be some sort of combination with this Nano coming out in this fight from Emerald Eagles.
It must be the biggest nano of their life, but a hidden Tectonic Shock will force out the Transcendence. That's not what they wanted. They needed to engage on their terms. The Vermilion Ascent will crash and burn right into Praise Dazai, the Terra Surge, to do something, but it pushes everybody into the willing blade of the Genji, but the Downpour will lock his feet in place. All the ultimates, the treasure trove expended as the overtime wick goes down.
I mean, just great response from EIG, right? Like, that's all I can really say to what Emerald Eagles was trying to do there. Is EIG was prepared for what they were trying to do time and time again, and they just did a good job of responding to it. With that being said, though, this is still incredibly winnable for the side of Emerald Eagles. You know, Rialto is one of those maps that you can very easily get first point held on.
Is it easier for the Venture to find the eliminations on attack or defense? I feel like attack is where they excel more often than not, so this might be a feast for Mad Bucks as it's their turn to push the cart, but we need to see a fuller hold, as you mentioned, Shadow, for Emerald to win this game. Otherwise, we're going to Game 5 kind of like we predicted.
Yeah, this is in danger of going to a Game 5.
100%.
That's the best way I can put it. We're in serious Game 5 danger territory. Like we got the lights on for it right now, right? Especially like when I see the Bastion coming out, when I see Bastion May come out, I am like map 5 danger. Like map 5 is a very high likelihood of happening at this moment.
Hippie is letting us know in our ears, like, danger, danger, we're in the red territory, Game 5. But we love a Game 5 Shadowfang, especially for a Sunday night showdown such as this. Clips, looking at them to put in the healing, get those key nano boosts online, but Masagaki fell flat for me in that attack on the defense. Has to be clean.
That absolutely does. Ashe, a good pick for that too. You can do a lot of damage on Ashe here, but you can't get split from your team. That is the primary thing that can potentially happen to you on that character.
Orisa taking a brunt of the damage, but a bulwark is she, and Mochete is the primary target. The Discord laid upon them, and they are now laid to rest. Fantastic work. The target prioritization, especially when a Zenyatta is on your team, must be clinical. This Ashe raining bolts from the high ground, looking to outsnipe the Star Wolf. They got a couple key shots. That'll put them under the gun.
Yeah, they are going to have to back off, though. Muchetti forcing that angle for Masagaki. Both these teams just still kind of trading on this first corner here. Not much happening in regards to that, but Mist getting kind of low right now.
Oh, the Onron so shifty with the Inferno Rust and the Dancing Blaze. But Mist, I feel like, how are they standing tall on this point? They're just taking every shot, but maybe not for much longer as Eclipse has been snuffed out. Machete with the timely intervention claims 2. The defense in shambles now for the side in red.
Yeah, this is a really unfortunate spot to be stuck in, because this just is a dive map, right? And you, if your Emerald Eagles are not playing a dive composition, so it's just kind of unfortunate for you that you're not playing a good comp for what you're going into.
Oh, the Dancing Blade burning Eclipse to a crisp. The golden box of victory easily in their sights to bring us to a game number 5. I mean, Shadow, you gotta think, was it a misstep in the draft to ban the Zarya instead of this Hazard? Machete looking at good, but Machete looking down as the overcharge will eliminate them, but still we battle onward. A trade of blows. This Onron in the backline, such a nuisance, finally put to rest.
Yeah, this is a serious back and forth affair that we're witnessing right now, and oh my goodness, there are so many ultimates online for both teams right here. You just, man, if you're Emerald Eagles, you just need to make sure nobody dies early. Like, that's really the biggest key right now, is nobody can die early. You need to have control over this high ground.
I mean, you told me last week, it was in my notes, can't get picked first, and that is priority number 1 for the defense, and the Transcendence will be popped first. Now the Terror Surge to follow it up. They have to claim a victim. Spiky Cloud in shambles after that. Now everyone split up for the attacking sides. The Assassins singled out and taken down.
Oh, Mad Bucks getting fluky, though, in the meantime. That's a really good trade to get. But luckily, though, for the side of the Emerald Eagles, Fluky should be able to make it back in time. And you're in a situation where I feel like you're in... Oh, my goodness, if you can get that kill onto Haywire, that's absolutely huge. That's absolutely huge.
And no Vermilion is sent to bring them back into the fight. Mad Bucks going incredibly deep into 4. The overclock expended. Pops a couple, but the sound barrier in response employed with good effect, and that pushes Mad Bucks forward. All they needed was some extra HP to find themselves a triple kill. Bob, all he could do is do something, buddy, but he jumps away, says can't do anything as we go to map number 5.
Oh my goodness, map number 5. Here we go. Man, that was a dominant performance for EIG. So now we flipped it on its head, right? Emerald was absolutely dominating maps 1 and 2. EIG has dominated maps 3 and 4. So I just hope map 5 is a good map.
Bring out your brooms, folks, because there's a potential for a reverse sweep. I'm stress eating my Rice Krispies over here, man. I mean, this is a ridiculous series, but there's only one map to settle it, and that is push. It will be the Emerald Eagle to select where we go.
Oh my gosh, and push of all maps. It's like the least, it's like a choice, but it also isn't, because it's push. There's not really a choice on push. Oh man, but with that being said, I think that this could be an instance where the ban phase is going to be so important. The map is going to be kind of whatever because it's push, but Emerald Eagles has to make sure they get some really good value out of whatever it is they decide to take away from EIG. They obviously can't take the Venture. They already did that. And here is our stat block right now. Like you were talking about, Mad Bucks with that 29-5 performance on that Venture. Mad Bucks really plays the video game well. So that's what we saw.
Surely. Eclipse, I was looking for touch more damage from them. I know that they were basically on healing duty to keep Mist in the fight. But a ton of damage coming out from praised Dazai. I mean, incredible work from them, but sheesh, this dive composition can't be beat, it seems, from the Assassins. They're doing their namesake justice.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job of that. Emerald Eagles, they just don't know how to match it necessarily, right? They don't have an answer. I'm really surprised Cass has never come out, if I'm honest with you. Like, I feel like having that stun grenade to stop Mad Bucks from just moving around the map so much might be potentially helpful.
I think we saw the Cass at some point. I think it was on Saravasa. We saw it for maybe one of the control points. Then they switched off of it. There's been a roulette wheel going for the DPS line. It's been very challenging for them to find their footing, and maybe they can do it as we head to a short break, folks. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, CGL fans. You are tuning in to the NA Diamond Tier lower bracket round 1 between the Emerald Eagles and the EIG Assassins. It's HC Philly B. It's Dr. Shadow. We've been with you through this journey, or not Dr. Shadow, sorry, Shadow Fang, throughout this entire journey. We find ourselves, Shadow, here in map number 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I can't say, I said this would be expected at the beginning, but it was not expected after map 2 because Emerald Eagles was just absolutely dominating, going up 2-0. And then EIG just said, okay, we're also going to just take the next 2 maps in pretty much dominant fashion as well. And so now here we are, map 5, where I'm hoping it's just going to be a really competitive back and forth map here.
We have 10 minutes to decide it all as we head to push. As Pippi pulls up the map screen, any predictions about where we're going?
I mean, I would have guessed Runasapi, so I'm surprised. I'm surprised anytime it like isn't Runasapi or Esperanza. Esperanza not being a pick, so it's kind of like, you know. So yeah, I'm surprised to see New Queen Street, and I'm really curious why Emerald Eagles is picking New Queen Street. I'm sure they have some sort of strategy here revolving around their Malga, more than likely.
Could be. We've seen it before where there's a pocket pick that really turns the tides of the battle. And we were talking during the break, Shadow, that the ban phase, this could be the do or die moment. This could be the make or break opportunity in this series. I need you to share your thoughts with the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the moment where the hazard has to go, right?
Yeah.
Because you get rid of the hazard, guess what? You can't, the opposing side in EIG can no longer ban the Malga, right? And that's the linchpin of the composition because they already banned the Reaper. So they can't really mess up Emerald Eagles comp if they just stop them from getting rid of the Malga. So I would be really surprised here if Emerald Eagles does not ban out this hazard.
Well, they have about 35 seconds to make their choice, and they're surely thinking about the selection in this do or die moment. Makes sense. The hazard, they haven't been able to figure it out. The Scottish man has just been reigning supreme, downpouring everywhere, eliminating folks left and right. 15 seconds remaining for them to select the pick. I don't know who else it would be. It's got to be the hazard. Somebody please make the selection I need to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. It's like, what else do you pick at this point? Yeah, it's like you get rid of the hazard. It also protects your Malga.
Yep.
Right? And like I said before, the Malga and the Reaper are like the 2 characters in that composition that you absolutely need to make it work from what I've seen so far. And the Reaper's already been banned. So EIG cannot ban Reaper. So you're left in a situation where there is a distinct possibility that EIG just bans Kiriko to stop the Malga comp from working as well, even though they like to play that Kiriko themselves.
I was thinking that or the Lucio, just to, you know, because he can speed boost everybody around or whatever, but I don't think the Lucio's really been that much of a problem. So, yeah, if you have the Kiriko and maybe play the Ana, but they're going for the Cassidy instead. They're trying to protect Mad Bucks, who will most likely be playing that Venture once again.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If you don't see something that like clearly breaks the comp that you're probably going to see, allow your carry to do just that and carry. So it's a perfect thing. Get rid of the one hero that can really stop Mad Bucks, potentially at least, from just going off.
100%. Well, let's take a look at the rosters. We've seen a number of switches from the Emerald Eagles. Let's see if for a 5th and final time they make adjustments, and it looks like they will. Masagaki back in the tank role, Deleuze for the support, which means they'll be running Lucio, and then Eclipse has moved themselves to the DPS line. It is once again the just ring around the rosy for this team.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense from what we've seen so far, honestly, right? It's like, okay, they want to play that Reaper Sombra. They want to play the Reaper Sombra Malga. And the only time they've actually gotten to play it was on Samoa. The other maps, something has either been banned or it's been a map where you just can't really play that hero, right? So they've been stuck in a circumstance where they've only been able to play the comp that we saw them play so well on map number 1. And Samoa was also a map that was incredibly back and forth and competitive, so I would expect this map to look a lot like Samoa as far as that like back and forth tendency.
And that's what Push is known for. It's that fluid tug of war, right? There's no like, okay, cap the point, we have to stop, then we restart again, right? It's just like the bot is moving, pick a direction, please, as they say. So a lot on the line for both of these squads. Remember, a ticket to play BGSU Falcons in the lower bracket round 2 is the reward for this grueling series. A loss sends you home for season 17. You have to pack your bags and wait for, whenever the next season pops around, potentially in the fall. So these teams, they don't want their seasons to end here. They've been practicing hard. You can see them laughing there too, which is good to see that they're in nice spirits.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to keep the spirits high. It is a map 5. And I mean, they may have even expected this to happen because it happened the last time they played, right? So you're just in a situation where it's like, hey, we're just chilling out. All we can do is put our best effort out there, right? As long as we do that, we can be happy with whatever the outcome happens to be, I think.
Yeah, no doubt. The Assassins, still comfortable with their same 5. We talked about how they don't really need to make any adjustments. They like what they've got, and this hazard certainly worked. But now, with no hazard on the board, we love Fluky. I love that. Is there a tank that they go for now? Is it the Zarya? Do they go for the Ramatra? What will they send here to the battlefield?
I tend to think they're going to opt towards that Zarya style composition, just because I mentioned it before. Ramatra plays right into exactly what Malga wants to do. Ramatra is just a frontline tank, and what does Malga want to do? Malga wants to be in the front line and shoot the frontline tank so that Malga can heal himself. So I don't think we see that. If anything, I think it's going to be Zarya or D.Va. Seeing as we have seen 0 D.Va today, I'm going to say Zarya.
Makes sense to me, and I still kind of like the matchup going for the Malga in that, just because, like we talked about, that focus fire. If Malga's shooting somebody, everybody should be shooting at somebody, and if it happens to be the Zarya, you pop bubble quick, you call bubble, 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 you go for it. Make sure, yes, you might get some charge, but that health pool not looking too good, and take the Russian down. But she likes a colder map. As we head to Canada, we go to New Creed Street to settle this.
Interesting. Okay. Emerald Eagles looking like they're going to opt for the Junker Queen here. And I got to be so honest with you, Philly. I favor the Zarya comp over this now because the Queen doesn't just mow down people in her way, right? You can do really well on the Queen, but like I don't know. I'm gonna have to see it to believe it.
Usually when you run this comp, Shadow, you have to pick a target and you just rush at them. Well, all of these characters are so freaking shifty, so you have to rush at Mochete, but that's not who you really want to go for. So I think they'll make a switch promptly after they see how this first engagement goes, as the Onron fanning the flame in this cold weather, looking to heat it up, burning through the competition. Masagaki still standing pretty healthy amidst it all, but it is Mad Bucks. They just can't find them, and it will be Fluky who nets a 2K to start us off in New Queen Street. That's great from the Reaper. He's happy to be back on Reyes. Still, the kill feed goes either way, but as the dust settles, the side in red will make out with the robot.
Yes, they absolutely will. But Star Wolf, in the meantime, took 2 kills on the way out. So you're really happy for that, because now it's not even allowing Praise Dazai to catch up on that ult charge, right? Dying in that moment like they did, they're going to stay behind Star Wolf. So it's just really unfortunate for the ult charge.
That's going to be a crucial ultimate battle that we see. Who can get to the Kitsune Rush first? And the Junk Queen loves Kitsune Rush. She wants those quick cooldowns, especially with the Battle Axe, the Carnage, just tearing through people. But her health bar torn through in an instant, charged up, and laser beaming everybody down as Mochete. They find themselves a 2K, and they get the robot back.
They do indeed. 40 meters was gained for the side of the Emerald Eagles. Masagaki going to swap over to the Ramatra now. Again, I like this pick better than the Queen. at the very least, right? But I think it's an instance again where I think they're trying to reinvent the wheel and they didn't necessarily need to. I feel like the Mauga comp would work really well into what EIG is playing.
I agree, and you've got the Reaper, so just give it a try, right? What do you got to lose? 8 minutes on the clock, but they say we might lose our spot in Season 17, Philly, but the meterage reclaimed from the Assassins. The Kitsune Rush online, but it is the Tectonic Shock pop first. The Death Blossom blooming onto the battlefield, but only claims one victim still. The Side in Blue's the one to come out on top.
And now it's kind of a problem where Emerald Eagles is just playing back and so passive. They're not like aggressing on to anybody. And again, it's another kind of example where that Mauga will allow you to do that, because you can't play Mauga anyway except by being aggressive into the enemy team. Whereas there are other characters where you can do that. And oh my goodness, Praise Dazai is down. You already lost your Kiriko.
Oh, and the Graviton just for the cherry on top, and the Nemesis form just delays the inevitable. They give the kill over to Mad Bucks to get them back to their Tectonic Shock. This is just decisive work from the Assassins, and Robot will turn around, but he'll say pick a direction please, and the direction will be forward for the Assassins.
It is, and Mad Bucks just dashing around like mad. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that. on the Venture, and Emerald Eagles has now opted to swap onto that Mauga once the bot has gotten 80 meters.
Will this be the character to see them to a victory, or at least stabilize them in this next fight? They desperately need something. The EMP will connect onto 3, but the sound barrier in response, keeping everybody healthy, sustaining through it. The Kitsune Rush layered. That's fortunate, but what's not fortunate is the Emerald Eagles don't get any kills.
No, they do not at all. There's just nothing to be found here, and that bot is going to just continue to push its way forward. We are up over 100 meters. Eclipse swapping over to that Bastion, just trying to find some sort of answer here.
I mean, Hippie said it was potentially not going to be 10 minutes, y'all. This could just be gone in an instant. The Tectonic Shock looking to put people 6 feet under. Mad Bucks finds one. The Vermilion Scent finds another. This guy is too damn good. The Zarya doesn't even stand a chance. And this bot rolling all the way home. And the Assassins clinical in finishing this. Wait, what? A pause? Eclipse, he's left the circle.
Well, Eclipse said, I have had enough of this game, so let me get up out of here. It will eventually be a cap, I suppose, but for the time being, I believe we have to wait and see if Eclipse is coming back. So, yeah, interesting way for that to go right now.
I mean, Shadow, do you blame him? This is a tough look, right? You had really good momentum the first 2 games. Now you're on the verge of a reverse sweep. You're just getting steamrolled with 5 minutes still left on the clock. A lot of the meterage not going your way. Would break a couple people's mental for sure.
No, absolutely. And like I said, it just feels like Emerald Eagles just doesn't... It seems like they forgot how to play their comp, honestly. Like, like they were playing it so well on Samoa, and it seems like they've just forgotten since then how the composition works exactly, because we're just not seeing any sort of engagements that are timely or anything.
It's tough. This is where you really need a captain to kind of bring everybody together, or a vibes person, right? To just rally everybody like, come on, let's do it. Let's finish this things out. We're competitors. We're members of the CGL. We want to put on a good show and just show everybody what the Emerald Eagles are made of. We need that person. And they need a miracle right now. The Eagles, they are crashing onto the point with everything. They've got legs now. I'm seeing the Soldier with a Helix rocket, and it will be the Winston. He jumps on through the Scientist, discovering a way to victory potentially, but the Graviton will vacuum everybody in and vacuum them into the gray screen. A straight up victory for the Assassins.
I mean, what a reverse sweep it was, too. EIG Assassins showing us exactly why they are that third-place team this entire season in the Diamond tier. And a lot of it has to do with that Venture coming out from Mad Bucks. It was insane for the rest of the series. We see exactly why it got banned out on map 1. Got to get rid of that immediately and try and do something about it the rest of the series. And Emerald Eagles just had no answer for it.
I'll tell you what, Shadow. Mad Bucks makes me want to go play Venture right now. That's like, I don't play many DPS characters. Venture is one of them, and I'm having an itch where I'm like, I gotta go play some Venture games. Like, that guy was sick with it each and every map. But wow, what a series we have. The Assassins have booked their ticket to play the BGSU Falcons, and sadly, the Emerald Eagles have booked their ticket home here for Season 17.
It's a valiant effort from Emerald Eagles. They did a great job there. They just could not quite finish it out, unfortunately for them, especially to lose in reverse sweep fashion, showing that you clearly were on par with this team. You just couldn't quite pull it out in the end.
Oof. I'll tell you what, though, we certainly got a number of wonderful replays captured from this series. Some great clutch moments, impactful ultimates, and I love to see the player cams, right? We got to see Eclipse, we got to see Deluge. That was great to see how they reacted, some of the whimsicalness they brought to it, so I hope that's a feature we can highlight further on in the CGL. Maybe Season 18 will have a lot of players willing to put their cams forward. So just a fantastic effort all around from both these squads. Excited to see how the Assassins move forward in this series.
Yeah, and I mean, as you can see right there, there is the map scores that we had throughout. It was a back and forth affair, you know, throughout the entirety of this series. The reverse sweep coming through from EIG. Not an easy thing to do, recover from going down 2-0.
100%. And we'll take a look at also the bans throughout this series, and there sure were a lot of them. Most we guessed correct, some surprised us. That Venture, at first we were like, what's this all about? And then we learned today, Shadow Fang, why this character was taken off the board. Mad Bucks just ran away with it. But praise, have to highlight her immensely on that Zenyatta. There's a reason there was that target ban on Rialto, incredibly useful with those discords, finding kill after kill. I mean, these teams did their research when going into this game.
Yeah, they remembered their 5-map series from week 5, right? They were like, okay, I remember these people. I know exactly what they was playing. But we need to not let them do what they want to do here.
100%. Well, my wonderful friends at the CGL, we do have an interview. So we have to get that prepped for you. We're headed to a short break. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back, CGL fans. It's HD Philly B and Shadow Fang. We just witnessed a lengthy, grueling series between the EIG Assassins and the Emerald Eagles. Went all the way to 5. The Assassins came out on top, and we have a winner view with a winner view. I guess it's a winner view, right? It's a winner's interview with Starwolf, the main support for the Assassins. We have a couple of questions for her. My first is, Starwolf, you're still alive here in the Season 17 bracket. How you feeling?
I need alcohol.
That was a pretty stressful match for sure. We also have Mad Bucks with us. Mad Bucks, that was an incredible performance on the Venture. You've got to have the adrenaline pumping as well.
Yeah. When we lost those first two, I was not expecting to win that, but I don't know. I just had to lock in, I guess.
Fair enough. You got to battle to the very end. Shadow, he's our tactician on the desk. He's got a couple questions for you all as well.
Well, I mean, just to kind of follow up on what you were saying right there, right? What was it that really changed between maps 2 and 3? Because it went from what looked like Emerald Eagles mostly dominating to y'all just mostly dominating. So what was the big shift between maps 2 and 3?
But low-key, we kind of just, like, stopped face-tanking them. Like, we kind of realized that we can't match the brawl, so we kind of, like, pulled back slightly, and then we just locked Hazard and Venture. And, you know.
Yeah. I just didn't get off Venture, and then it worked.
Yeah. That was the key, right? Just play the Venture hero and just go at everyone that is not the front line. But also, so with y'all winning this match, you're going to move on and you're going to have a match against BGSU. Do you have any thoughts about that team going into that series?
Being completely honest, I haven't seen a single game from any other people. I've just been kind of playing.
We haven't versed that team in so long. I don't know what to expect. Low-key. Oh, I got nothing.
Okay. Fair enough. We were looking for some fight words, you know, get the people going.
It's been a minute, okay? I mean,
no worries. It's all fun here at the CGL. My friends, I still have at least one more question for me from a tactical standpoint. Star, how do you keep yourself calm through it? Because there were so many times you were under pressure on that support role, whether it was the Kiriko, the Ana, but we were looking at the kill feed like, what? She got another kill and another kill? It was incredible work from you.
I use this thing called TP, essentially, Swift Step a lot. And I like going into the back line. I mean, it was kind of like, I kind of just realized that they don't really like look around if I'm just chilling, so it's kind of easy just to kill them.
Okay, just straight up confidence, I'm better than you kind of thing. For sure. Okay, and Mad Bucks the same. I mean, there were a lot of times where you had to put in a Herculean effort with a great tectonic shock or find a great pick into the backline? How do you keep your mental as you go through a long series like this?
A highlight, a specific point was map 2, like right before they won. Is, I don't know, you kind of just ball, and then honestly, I lived longer than I thought I would for that entire point, and then slowly my hands started shaking.
I thought he was gonna die. I had no faith.
Ah.
Yeah, we were kind of
Again,
thinking the
that whole
same.
I was like, I was like, nah, he's dead. Oh no, he's alive. Okay.
You gotta have faith in your teammates, and there were many times we looked at the scoreboard like, wait, how did Mad Bucks have like only 4 deaths in that, or 2 deaths, or whatever? So shifty were you on that venture. Now, Star, this was I think the question you were most scared of as we were talking in the green room during the break. Who would you want to shout out while we have you on stream?
Bro, what the fuck?
I mean, obviously me, right?
Yeah, you know, that's it, but it's just mad, you know? I don't... it's honestly a bit of achievement for Mad not to have more than 10 deaths, so that was the thing. Pass this over to Mad.
All right, Mad Bucks, who do you want to shout out while we have you?
Can I say Star?
You can, yeah, whoever you want. You can say me, Shadow.
Oh yeah, I loved your broadcasting when I hopped in there. I didn't even know it was being streamed until like the 5th map, and then I checked in, and then I just heard y'all talking about me, and that was like, yo,
the glaze.
He talked about it the entire map 5. He was just he loved being glazed. That was better.
I love you.
We're here to boost some egos, Fred. That's what it's all about. Well, we thank you so much. Congratulations on your victory. We'll see you in the losers round 2 against BGSU Falcons. But thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
Well, Shadows, one group exits, another group will arrive, and that'll be Fluky from the Emerald Eagles, who will join us for our next interview.
I really thought you were about to say also exits, since it's an exit interview.
Too soon.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Fluky, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us for an exit interview. We just have a couple questions for you. Mine is, what did you learn this season playing with the Emerald Eagles?
Oh man, this is my first time ever managing a team.
Yeah.
So honestly, just learning how to manage, learning how to keep, players' attitudes, and oh hey, who's free this time, who's free this time, who plays what, all this just coming up together. Like it's a bit time consuming, but I wouldn't trade it for anything with this team, man. Like these are my ride or dies. Like I have had the most fun ever with this team, just doing stupid stuff, whatever it may be. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything, really. I've learned just how to manage in general.
Fantastic. Shadow?
Yeah, I mean, big time skills for sure. And, if you were to pinpoint, like, it can be a moment or a series of moments, but just anything from the season that just really stands out to you as like, oh, that was an awesome thing that happened. And like I said, it can be one thing or just several things.
If I had to say one moment, it's probably the EIG Scouts game. Rest in peace to them. What a fun team to fight. It was very good. That was kind of the turnaround. That's when I was like, this team has already grown so hard from the beginning. If that's the kind of play we're putting out and all that stuff, like that's what really mattered to me was, yes, let's start working together. Like this is what we're gonna be doing. Working together as a team. Scrimming more, everything like that. That's kind of where that turnaround started happening for the positive.
Fantastic. Well, I guess the question maybe everybody is asking: will we see the Emerald Eagles in season 18?
That's not really a decision up to me. No guarantees, but my hope would be yes. I would love to come back and manage and play and do whatever that might be. I can't give a definite answer just because that's just how the club teams work, but I would love to make sure that they're still hanging around in Season 18.
Fair enough, and I'm sure we will see them flying high once again. Fluky, while we have you, is there anybody you would like to shout out?
Yeah, you know, shout out my whole team. Gonna give them all by name. They all deserve their individual props. Mist, Masagaki, Eclipse, Dulce, Praise Desai, Novo, we miss you. Can't believe you had to go to a Frisbee tournament in your elimination game. Shout out to the Overwatch Club Director, Conk. Shout out to Fez and Pickle. Shout out to Diamond and Jade. Y'all were strong this year as well. Couldn't have any better. Honestly, just the whole UNT organization is kind of just what I want to give some praise to here.
Fantastic. Well, Fluky, we appreciate you for joining us for this interview, for joining us for your very first season of CGL. We hope to see you back next time. Thank you and have a great night.
Oh, yes, I'll be back. I'll be back. All right, y'all have a good one. Thank you.
Take it easy, my friend. Well, Shadow, it's been a long one for us here on CGL 1, but could you believe it? We actually have more CGL action for you tonight. If you head over to CGL 2, we have another game, but let's check out the bracket for now and see where we stand.
Yeah, you can see right there it updated. That bottom left-hand corner is where our game just happened, and now they are moving on to play, you know, like I said, BGSU, and then those two lower brackets have to move on. The upper bracket, there's still a lot more bracket left in this diamond tier.
Oh, yeah. This is one you want to keep on your calendars for sure. I'll be rooting for the Assassins as they maybe eliminate member after member as they make their way through. But I've heard Drop the Guns is the team to beat in the Diamond tier. We'll take a look at our schedule going on right now. And we have another series that's tied up. Team Prosperous versus Monolith at 1-1.
Yeah, that's one of our open tier games. Team Prosperous, top team in the tier for most of that season. Really exciting team to watch. So I think that'll be a really nice banger of a game to get to end the night out on.
Fair enough. Well, from HD Philly B, Shadow Fang, Hippie, and Soav in the back, we appreciate you so much for joining us on CGL 1. We'll see you over at CGL 2. Have a great night.